Hello and welcome to my very first YouTube video live. And I decided to do a live video today because the card that I have made for today is going to take a little bit longer. So I thought instead of recording it, it would be easier just to do a live video, whether you watch it live or watch it after the live, whenever. Um, I don't have a camera when I record my videos. I just use my phone. So it does take up, obviously, space on my phone. So the longer videos aren't really the best for me right now. So if I ever do get another, like an actual camera, I could make longer videos and upload them that way. But I do still use my phone. So I'm going to show you a Wreath Builder card today. So I am going to switch over to my table, and I'm going to have to move the camera, or my camera stand that my phone's on. So you're going to see the ceiling for a minute, but that's all right. That's all I have. And slide you over a little bit. Yeah, so this is the card that I am going to share today. And again, it does use the Gina K Wreath Builder system. And this is the package that it comes in. They come in, there's two different sizes that you can use. There's a 4-inch and a 3 1/4 inch. And these templates will go into your stamping tool. I have the Misty here. And these little guides here are really nice because you can put your stamps on these little grid lines, and it kind of lets you orientate your stamps so they can get, into a nice orientation on your card layout. So, let me just put the template into the Misty, and I will show how that works. Now, usually I have the Gina K's grit mat. This is her double background. This is the first one. There's another one that she has. Grit mat. And this does work really well with the Wreath Builder. But the only thing that I have found is because you have to pick your paper up and turn it. I have to dig under that. So I'm actually just going to take that out. And I don't have one of her grip sticky mats. Can't get a hold of mine. I have a Brutus Monroe one. It's not horribly sticky left. There's some stick left to it. I have 2 of them. But, I mean, that's just what these do. And I do need my foam. Hold on. Forgot that part. When you use Gina's grip mat, you take the foam out of your Misty. But if you don't use it, you have to put that foam back in for polymer photopolymer stamps. Okay. So, this is your template, and it says Wreath Builder 4-inch. And you can put it the top, the bottom, it doesn't really matter. Since my mat is not sticky, it's supposed to be sticky. It's supposed to hold that in there. But I've used it so many times that it's not really sticky anymore, so I'm just going to tape it down. So this is just some mint tape from scrapbook.com, because we don't move the template. We move our paper or your cardstock, whatever that you're using. So I'm just going to tape that in there. And the paper that you need for this is the largest one, is 4x4. So I've cut just a 4x4 piece, and this is just going to, I'm actually going to use my magnet. So it gets put in here, and you stamp and move and stamp and move and stamp and move. So you can start it off. It actually needs more tape right there. The first one I made, I actually used my grip mat. And I'm just going to tape it over the edge, because you don't want this to move, because if it moves position, you're going to lose your shape of your wreath. And you want it to stay in its original orientation. So as long as it's not moving around. So that way we can take this piece and move it and move it and move it. So the stamp set that I used is actually this one. This is actually a Christmas stamp set. It's called Holiday Tapestry. And I originally bought it for this image right here. I love that image. But it has all of these little stamps in it that work perfectly with the Wreath Builder. So she does have a lot of stamp sets that are made specifically for this. They're small. They work really well with that. You can leave your paper in or out of this. This is the guide. So I'm just going to stick it in there, and I'm going to try to replicate how I made this wreath. So I started originally with that image there. So what you can do with this, since those little circles are all along that, you can put your stamp in the very center. You can move it out here. You can put it wherever that you feel looks good to you. So, like I said, I'm going to try to make it the best that I can, similar to this one. You can't see because the sentiment is over there. Underneath there is an opening that's probably about an inch, I think, but I covered it up with the sentiment. So I'm just going to, I suppose, guess about there. So that's like almost in the center of that little circle right there. So we're just going to go with that. If it comes out a little bit different, that's fine. If you make one and you, say you start with this stamp here, and you stamp it, and you think that's going to look good, make another one. Cut another piece of cardstock, leave your stamps in there, and you can create more than one at a time. As long as you leave the stamp in there and just change the stamp out every time, and put a new piece of paper in there, you're good. Alright, so for the ink colors, I used Gina K's spruces. That's the light, the medium, and the dark. So I started with the light, and I stamped the whole first layer in the light spruce. So you just ink up your stamp, and the thing with using the stamping tool, the Misty, is you can stamp it again if you want. So that looks pretty good. And then you take this and you turn it down to the next point. And your cardstock just kind of nests in there. And then you stamp it again. And you just keep going all the way around. Get my magnet out of the way. Now I can already tell that's going to be a little bit different than my first wreath, but that's fine. If I wanted to make a second one, I could have put that in there, but... So you rotate it again. Ink up your stamp. And see, doesn't look like I got much ink on there. Yeah, I missed. So just ink it again and stamp. That'll probably be a tiny bit darker, not much. Gina's inks lighten and smooth out very nicely. They don't leave blotches. And again, rotate. So this wreath builder would work for so many different stamps. And they don't have to be florals. You know, they could be hearts, stars. I mean, any image, as long as it's going to fit within the template of this, will work. You could make cute little critters, animals. You can make butterflies, little dragonflies, just whatever you have that's a smaller image, and layer them. I kind of just kept going with what I had use in this stamp set. I just kept adding it, and I thought, all right, that looks good. That looks good. I just kept going and going and going. So there is a full rotation of one stamped image. And it's so cool because it gives you like the perfect placement. I don't know how anyone figured out how to get that perfect. But it's like, I mean, it's not even overlapping. It is so cool. Now, obviously, if you had a stamp that was larger than that, it might overlap itself. And I forgot to wet my towel down. It's still soft. This is Gina's, oh, what is it called? The stamp. I don't, it's the cloth. It's soft enough. I just sprayed it with some water. It doesn't have to be soaking wet for me. All right, so put that stamp away. And I think the next stamp I used as a filler was that little one there, which is this one. So, oops, gotta put it on the right way. So you just kind of fuzz on it. You just kind of look and just say, all right, well, that fills that space in right there. That's pretty much all I did. You just kind of say, all right, well, that's fills in that little hole. That's all I was trying to do, was just fill in that space a little bit. All right, so that one I used the medium spruce. I think these spruce colors, these are the only greens that I have right now, hers. These would be pretty for winter also. The spruce colors, instead of, like your bright greens. I think they're pretty. I have a lot of bright green colors right now, so. But I like her inks. They really do blend. Even stamping, I mean, if you blend with a blending brush, they blend really nice also. But stamping, they're so smooth. I really am impressed with that. I have some inks that do not, got ink on me. Some ink pads I have do not do that. Alright, so rotate it. And we're just going to keep going all the way around and around and around until you are done. But I love this. And you can also, I'm using it as it is intended with the 4x4 piece of cardstock there. And this is the paper that, this white paper that I'm using currently is the smoothest cardstock I have. And it is from Stampin' Up! Because I've had it for a long time now. And until I use it up, that's what I'm going to use. Because it's the smoothest. It's really nice for stamping and for blending. Alright, so another rotation. And that is what we have there. So, get rid of this ink. And chamois, stamp chamois, I think they call these. It's just water, no stamp cleaner. Alright, so then I went with this leafy stamp there, which is this one. And I did that one in the dark spruce. So I think I just laid it in here with the stem, it does have a little stem. And it does overlap the other images. And I wanted it at a curve to kind of follow along the curve of those. So let's put it, that looks good, right there. And it doesn't matter if your paper comes out of here because it's got the little thing in there. It'll fit right back. Alright, so dark spruce. So I did all of the greens first. And then I went back in and did the little berries, the little flower, and then the last one I did was the little yellow, which I was trying to imitate, like maybe like in a floral arrangement. They have that dried, almost yellow looking wheat stuff. I don't know what it's called, but that's what I was trying to imitate in this wreath, was that. So that's what I used last. I have had this Wreath Builder for some time. And I've made quite a few cards with it. I think I was going to say the 4x4 piece of cardstock is what the template was designed for. But you can, if you're making an A2 card, which is this size, if you want the whole the whole panel, you can actually cut this to the 4 inches and make it longer. So instead of just having it this short, you can make it this long. It's when you get over here to this side of the template, it will hang out over your MISTI or your stamping tool, and it's fine. It does work with a longer piece. You don't have to have it 4x4, but I did make make that card with its intentional purpose of the 4x4. And I'll show you also the frame. I'm getting ink all over my lid. How to do the frame. Because this is actually not an actual die that makes that frame. It is a die, but it's not what its intention was. I was making some other cards, and I challenged myself to see if I could actually get a frame made by squaring up those dies, and I did pretty good. Alright, so on to the next one. And I think the next one, I guess it doesn't really matter which. If you have this stamp set and you want to follow along, you can use the little flower or the berries. Now, you probably can do these at the same time, but I did them in different colors. So I did the small one in the light. I'm also using the carnations. I didn't use the dark. I only used the light and the medium. So, I mean, I guess if you started your little berry, the little berries, if you started it like down here, you could probably ink them both at the same time. Instead of like stamp the flower all the way around. Let's try that. So, where are the berries? Up here. Because it doesn't matter that you have two different stamps on here. So I put the berries just about there. So you can see I have the berries and then I have the little flower. It's just that they're going to be in two different ink colors, that's all. But you can do them at the same time. I don't have my paper back in there square. Here we go. So let's try that. Light carnation for the flower. And medium carnation for the little berries. And if you need to re-ink them, you can. Yeah, I think that works good. I think I will. I'm going to re-ink both. Berries look pretty good, but let's just re-ink both of them. They stamp just fine. It's just they're over those greenery. So if you want them to stand out a little bit more, you just stamp them twice. Make them a little darker. Yeah, that'll work. You just have to remember which ink you're picking up goes on which stamp. Light carnation for the flower, medium carnation for the berries. I think we'll have to go around this like twice just to get the stamps all in it, but that's fine. Either way, yeah, I like that. I didn't do that the first time around. I just stamped each individual little image, but this is to show that you can do more than once, or more than one stamp, even if they were the same color. But it's good to show that you can use different colors. And same thing, you just keep going around. Now you can, if you have an image that maybe you don't want to go all the way around the whole thing. I don't know, maybe you have a little heart or something that you want to use as an accent. You can skip the orientation. I'll show you when I get this one inked up a little bit. So if you have an image, say you stamped one here. Well, say you didn't want it so close together. So instead of going here, you can skip it. And it'll be spaced farther apart. There's so many, make sure I got that where it's supposed to go. There's just so many possibilities with this wreath builder and so many different images. I mean, you could just sit and play with this stamp set or this wreath builder set alone with multiple stamp sets, and you'd have so many different looking cards. That's what I like about it. And I've used the small one. Most of the time I use this bigger template. But the smaller one would be good too if you wanted to like back it. Maybe with like a bigger square or even an oval. If you have like a fancy frame die of some sort. The smaller one would be good to use for that. So, I said so many. I don't have any of those. I'm sure if I dug in my card box, I would find one that uses this wreath builder with some stamps. I think I've made Christmas ones. You could use like holly, like if you have a holly leaf or a pine branch, or a pine bough, something like that. You can make nice Christmas wreaths. And you could put, if you had a bow stamp, that would be really cute. If you made this circle a little larger, you know, like start your stamp like out here somewhere, and you could put a whole interior of bows. That would really be cute. All right, so that is done with those. Yeah, doing those two at a time did pretty good. So let me clean that off. Get my little chamois. So the last image is that, I don't even know what it's supposed to be. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like a filler, like a floral arrangement filler is what it looks like to me. So that's what I did. And I curved it. I didn't want it straight up. I thought that would look silly. Because if you put your stamp in here upright, then it's going to be upright, upright. I didn't think that would look nice. So I curved it quite a bit. And put it overlapping some of the greenery. I tried to get it in the middle. That'll probably be alright. I just wanted it curved. It's going to be a little bit different looking than the other one. But that's fine. For that color, I buried it. This is butterscotch. It's currently the only yellow. of Gina K's I have. And I didn't double stamp that one. I didn't want it too dark. It'll soften and lighten up a little bit as you go along. I think I had the first one curved a little bit more. Oh well, that's fine. Still looks good. And if you wanted more of that, you could even make another one in here, but I didn't want too much. I didn't want to overpower any of the other images, so I just used each one time. And a wreath like this, I mean, you could use it for any time of year. So any sentiment, any type of greeting would work. Because this really is not holiday themed at all. I didn't get that tip of that one too well. But yeah, the colors of it aren't holiday themed. I mean, you could definitely still use that as a Christmas. It would definitely pass for a Christmas card, but any occasions, that's what I like about it. All right, so there is your finished wreath. And it's similar looking to that one. It's a little bit different, but it's close enough. Yeah. So let me put that away. And we don't need this tool anymore. Well, I take that back. I am going to make the greeting. I did not make the greeting yet. Now, I didn't use... These are all Christmas, except that one. You could use that one for any time of year, a gift for you. But the other ones are obviously Christmas sentiments. So I have this stamp and die set, Elegant Thoughts. And I used the Hello Friend. I thought it was small enough to cover the circle, because that's where I decided to put the greeting at. And I didn't use black. I can just take this whole thing right out of there. I don't need that anymore. Just going to put that off to the side. Get my double background grip mat back in there. Magnet out of the way. But that's why I chose that one. Because it was small. Need a piece of scrap white. Those are my dogs. Blue. I am a one-man show here in this house. I have no help. So this is just a piece of scrap. I think it will be big enough. Yes. Blue. It's my dog. And I didn't use, like I said, I didn't use black. You can. But I used the dark spruce. I could have used black. I suppose let's try black with it. Just to see what it... Because, I mean, I do have black in the frame. And there's no other dark on there. So, let's just try. Now, this is not an oxide pad. It's a custom. I really, really need a good black ink pad. I should have... I ordered these, Gina K's, and for some reason did not even think to get a black ink pad, because mine are horrible. This, you can buy these blank. There's no ink in them. But I had a black re-inker. I'm not sure where from, but I put black in there. Because my other ones just were like, I don't know. They just won't work. And see, that's just not even black enough. I just need a good ink pad. But I should have got Gina's, her black onyx. Next order. That's pretty black enough, I think. Alright. So let's clean that off. And I like this set because of the dyes. I was lacking. Get that ink all over me. Nope. I was lacking sentiments that have dyes with them. I mean, for years, that's all we did was sentiments on a strip, punched out with a label, punch, or a label die. So, yeah. This one, she has all kinds. I like the font in these. And she has a few sets similar to this with different greetings in it. And some holiday ones, I think, with that font. So I'll be getting more of those, because I like it. I like that. All right, so I can take this out, and then I will die cut that, and then I'll show you how I made the frames. All right, so I think it's this die that cuts that out. I wish that was blacker. Oh well. Alright, so let me get the Misty out of the way. And get the die cut machine. I'm going to use my Spellbinders Platinum 6. And I'm going to put it this way, because if I orientate it the other way, it's going to hit my camera stand. Or phone stand. So I have brand new plates. They're so clean. My other plates I were using are these. And it's starting to warp. It's starting to get a little bent. So, I mean, I'll still use it. For the video, though, I wanted to make it look all nice and pretty. Plus, with the frames on there, it's bowed out. Probably can't tell. Machine's all in the way. They're bent. Let's see. There it is. So, if I put it this way, it's going to keep bending the plate more this way. So I've been die cutting it this way, which creates a hump. But when you put a big die on there in a frame, it's never going to sit flat. And for what I'm doing it for today, I want it flat. I cut it out on these the first time around, but I want it flat. So I got my new ones out. So you just line up your die with your sentiment, greeting, whatever, and taping it down. And I must say, Gina's this Masking Magic. These are her strips. I only have the strips. Work so well when you die cut, because it will not, if you've seen her use hers on her videos, it will not stick to your paper. It will not tear it. Whoops, my inks are all in the way. So yeah, hers is the best. Hers is the best tape that I have used. Yeah, so there's the greeting. Let's see what that looks like. I guess it's okay. I kind of like the darker. If my ink pad was blacker, it would probably look nicer, but that's as good as I'm going to be able to get. Whoops. I just cut that piece right in half. That's fine. I have more. I just don't want to lose the die. And her, they come with that. See, her little, isn't that cute? I love the back of her magnet. It's adorable. But it come with this little magnet. So I just keep the die and stamp set all together in the same little pocket. All right, so for the frames, I already have my pieces of cardstock cut out for those. They are both 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It's just a quarter sheet of cardstock. So what I've used is the Master Layouts 14 die set. And these are, I put these on the magnets. But these are the 2 dies that I'm going to be using. These are what makes, they don't make the frame, but they make the frame. So, however you want to see it. All right, so for this is her postage die. And for that one, I'm going to cut the white piece because that is the interior part of it. You do get that little postage outer part. And I am going to get some new pieces of this masking magic. These are still holding, but I don't want it to move. So all you do, and you can do these with other dies also. This is just the only ones I have of hers right now. So that's why I'm using them. So you take your die and you are going to want to center it up on this piece of cardstock the absolute straightest that you can. So I'm going to tip it a little my way. And then once you think that it's pretty centered and square, which means you have pretty much an even border all the way around the outside. So if it's not perfect, it'll be all right, because that one's not. And then I'm going to take that masking magic and I am going to really stick that on there because I don't want it to move around, right? So take your die cut, make your sandwich or whatever machine that you have, run it through. I should have put that in on an angle. I did not. Sorry. Jumping. You should put anything square die in your machine at an angle. It makes it so much easier because see what I just did in my die? It just bent. Not that it's going to hurt it. I would prefer to not have to bend it. Alright, so this is the original intention of what this die does. And if you did bend your die a little bit, gently, gently bend it back. But what I wanted was the frame. Sorry, it's still stuck onto my plate. Her tape was holding it down. See? No tearing of your paper. So, what I have now is a frame. So, I get this, and I get this. So, when I was using that postage die last week, I had 4 or 5 of these, and some of them weren't quite even. Like, this isn't quite even, but that's fine. This is going to be on the inside. So, now we want to do the same thing with this. Now, this die intention is to be a backing for a layering piece for that. This goes on top of that. And it's the same concept. Now I'm going to use the black paper, and I'm going to lay that as square, and I'm going to twist that one this time. You want to try to get that as evenly as you can, all the way around. I could use more than one piece of this. Cut that one in half. I'll just do the top and the bottom. Yeah. So if you don't have layering dies, I don't need that. I'll put that over there with that. This is a good way to make a frame if you only have the one. So this should glide in here a little bit easier than the last one. Much easier. All right, so let's get the tape off. Still bowed the die a little bit, but these are nice, perfectly flat cutting plates. So that's fine. Bend it the opposite way. Goes right back. Gently. Very gently. Okay, so this is what its intention. It has the little stitching all the way around. But I have also created the frame. So pretty good. It's centered on there, I think. So I'm going to let me get rid of the die cut machine. I'm done with that. So now I can take this black frame and stack it on top of that white one and created a cute dimensional frame. Now, you probably can't see because my tabletop is black, and I did not grab my glass mat out of my other room yet, so I'm just going to grab that. I'm just going to grab the old Misty. All right. So first, I'm just going to go ahead and glue that frame down to this piece. So, grab some glue. This bottle is about empty. It's Tombow glue. And make sure I get the back side. So hopefully I can get some glue out of this. Yep. Just put a thin line, whatever you have. I like liquid glue, so you can wiggle it a little bit. I don't always use liquid glue, but I do a lot, most of the time. Just use whatever you have. That's fine. This line here is a little thin. Alright. So just take that and square it on here. You can start at one edge because they originally were the same size piece of cardstock. They were 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I didn't cut anything else. Yeah, see, this border's not even. So what you could do is fake that by sliding. Let me see if I can get that apart real quick. Hold on. Ah, it's starting to stick already. I'll show you a little trick. All right. So, if it's not even, since this is going to be our outer piece, and this piece, let me see here. There we go. This has a bigger border than this one. This one has a little bit bigger border than this one because I didn't die cut it real straight. So what you can do, I should have enough glue on there, is start at one end and put this on there to where it's even. Because the white piece doesn't necessarily matter. That's not even. If it's visibly nice on the backside, because it's just gonna get glued to your I am all thumbs right now. Each piece of this cardstock is sticky, and it's sticking to me. All right. And if it's not even, ooh, that's way bad. That's way worse. All right, I'm just going to go back to my original and pooey on it. It's not squared. It's fine. I'm going to end up tearing it and going to have to make another one, and I'm not going to do that. If I would have die cut it a little bit better, it would have been more square. But see, nobody's going to see the back. This one is actually not square either. This one's a lot wider than up here. So if you want to get particular about it and want to make it look nice and square, make it square. All right, so what I did for this card to fill in it evenly instead of having it like this, I just glued it on there on an angle. And then cut it off and glued it onto the card front because you don't need all of that. So I am going to use the grids here. And I just eyeballed that one. So try to make your triangles on each corner and then use these as your guide. That's all I did. Yeah, just like that. So you can take your glue and you can leave it once you have it set. I probably should have done that on my sticky mat. That way I would not have had to worry about it moving. Just run some glue down that. Just like that. You're probably not going to get a whole amount of glue over on that side. These little tops. But it's going to get glued right down to your card base. So it'll hold it. Hold it just fine. Yeah. And a little on each side. This is just the way I found it easiest to stick this on here, because you don't want to get glue. You could have also taken this and glued it onto the card front first. You could do it that way also. This is a matching cardstock. I think this is Stampin' Up's color. It's not a Gina K cardstock, but it's close to her butterscotch. So yeah, just like that. Now you can cut these off. Don't need them on there. So you can put it into your paper trimmer, or you can just cut it with your scissors. And get that little tip off. Like that. Now we can put glue all the way around this and stick it to the card front, or tape runner, whatever you use. I think I'm an over gluer. I think I say that every video. I don't want it moving, so I glue the heck out of it. All right, and this just happens to be a side folding. This is again the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 half sheet cardstock. If you want a top folding, is this one top folding? No, that one's side folding. So make it whatever you want. And you could also add like little embellishments, beads, whatever you have. I'm using these old, I've had these for so long. I'm trying to use them up. These are little Stampin' Up. I used to sell it many, many years ago. That's why I have probably so much of it. Well, I didn't sell it. Nobody bought anything from me. I bought it myself. Oh, there's so many Stampin' Up demonstrators. Too much competition. Alright, so I forgot. I forgot these have like a little border. But I do need, all I have is this, and then big wide foam tape. I need some of Gina's. This. Big wide tape. Sometimes that's just too much. I don't need all that. So I'm going to have to order some. When I go through that pack of foam, I will order some more. That's too big. Alright, good enough. Alright. And if you're a non-foam user and you want dimension, just cut, I don't know, 4 more pieces of this die and just layer them up. I don't have a problem using foam. It's just as easy. Alright, so take your sentiment and center it up. Looks pretty good. Yeah. All done. So it came out pretty close to my original one there. I still like the green. I still prefer the green ink. Or you could also have heat emboss that. I could have stamped it. It's Gina's tip. Stamp it in black. Clean the black off your stamp. Leave it in the, don't take it off. Stamp it with embossing ink, Versamark, whatever, on top of this, black, and then heat emboss it, and it'll make it black, look like black embossing powder, but it's clear. That would have made that black a little darker. So, yeah. And I think I have, actually, I love her foil. I believe I have this in the polyglaze sheets. If you have her foils, which I do, I don't know if I can find it right offhand. A foiled sentiment also would look nice. I want the black. I want to try the black foil. Yes. Birthday wishes? Nope, that's not the same one. That came with the, I have the amethyst fuse. That came with that. I don't have dies for it. I do have those somewhere. I have a little 4-drawer storage thing over here. Here they are. See? These are polyglaze sheets. So it's printed with that polyglaze material. And you put your foil over it, and you can do them all. You can do the whole sheet if you want. Well, it'll stick out of your little carrier, but if you want them all the same color, you just stick your foil over there, and it'll foil that. But what I want is the black foil. Gina's got some black. So you'd have a black shiny-ish. It's not quite as shiny as like this shine. But that way you don't have to emboss it. But you'd still have a cool looking sentiment. So I like these because I have used her foil a lot. I have more of her foil and her toner and polyglaze sheets than I do her stamps. I love that. So that's all I have for today's video, showing a basic use of this wreath builder. It's, I said, there's so many different possibilities by using this wreath builder. And she has a really big one, which is cool. It's different. It's kind of different than this one, but I haven't gotten that yet. I'll get my fill of this wreath builder. I may venture on to that one. And again, any small images you have, and if you didn't even want all of that in there, you could put however much you want. Obviously, something like this is not, it won't work. It has to fit in the parameters pretty much of this. Now you can make it go off. You know, if your stamps go off the side of it, that's fine too. You're still going to have all of this interior part of your wreath. And if you don't want to cover it up in the center, you can put your greeting somewhere else. It doesn't have to be in there. That's just what I wanted to do. So I hope you go try these. If you have them, play with it. You can get so many different looks with that. I'm telling you. And different colors of inks, and just, it just goes on and on. So thank you for joining me today and watching the video. I'll be back hopefully soon with another video tutorial or just a video for you. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.